When you focus on problems, you will have more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you will have more opportunities. A very good evening to one and all present. Welcome you all to a question and answer session, Psychoateria, conducted by Rota Club of GCT Coimbatore with a special person. So we all have many questions during this quarantine, like about our mental health and stress and whatnot. So I request the event chairman, Dr. Anbukarasi, to give a special introduction about the special person who's going to clear all our doubts and clarifications today. So over to Anbukarasi.
So a very good evening to all. I warmly welcome Dr. Satya Raj ma'am, who was a consultant in a child and adolescent psychiatry unit, Christian Medical College, Vellore. So I have a short intro on her. So she qualified her diploma in psychological medicine, DPM, and MD in psychiatry. So diplomate of National Board, DNB, and France CP. So she completed her training in psychiatry at the Christian Medical College, and since then has been a faculty in child adolescent psychiatry unit, Christian Medical College, Vellore, India. She worked as a staff specialist in child and youth mental service, Hinterland Hospital, Australia. She had conducted many workshops for psychiatrists, pediatricians, school teachers, psychologists, and social workers on child and adolescent mental health. So she got gold medal for best outgoing student in MBBS and Rose Chacko medal for best outgoing student for MD, and Sarada Menon gold medal for securing highest mark at all India level in psychiatry nation board examination. So they will get a solution for all our problems. So welcome, ma'am.
Thanks a lot for those kind words. So as Anbukarasi is introduced, and a big hi to all of you this evening. I wanted to be more an interactive session rather than, how should I say, me presenting something. So I think this was a good idea, because mostly when I do sessions, I'm asked to on a particular topic, I tend to present a PowerPoint and I don't see a lot of interaction and questions happening. So this is a little different. I know that Google Forms have been shared and you have a few queries. So possibly one of you can start asking the questions and we can go. Depending on the time limit as to how we are going, maybe in case there is any other thing at the end, I do have a few slides on, say, mental health and mind-body relationship and other things. We can share that in the end if needed, right? So let's start possibly. I'm ready for your questions and please feel free. And alla Tamirum pesuen. I speak good Tamil. So please feel free to ask me in Tamil also. So maybe mana padatam, mana alutam, and the madri romba psychiatric terms, I might not be able to get the perfect Tamil terms. But colloquially, of course, yes, I'm more than happy to sort of share my expertise with you. So any questions, we can start off. No worries.
Thank you, ma'am. Glad that we are having you here today. So like I'm going to ask you the questions that I've listed here that already our students and people have asked. So the first question to go with is, what is this mental health, ma'am?
Lovely. So let me start off giving something. What do we know about health as such? What is health? Anybody? So I don't want to remind you of your classes sessions, but then any idea what is health? So let me
Anyone can please unmute and tell. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody who wants to answer can answer. So let me start off the session. So health, actually, if you take the most holistic definition, it was given by WHO. So WHO said health is actually the physical, mental, and social well-being of a person. And it is not only an absence of any disease or infirmity. So if you go and search what health is, with the WHO definition, this is what it says. So it is just not me being non-diabetic, non-hypertensive doesn't mean to say that I'm healthy. So it includes all the positive aspects of physical and mental health, right? So coming on to physical health, there are a few things. You know about physical disorders, and there are mental health disorders, right? So mental health disorders are commonly treated by psychiatrists, as you know. But what is positive mental health? So this is what has been coming up recently in the past few decades, because we are focusing on being stress-free, living our life to the utmost extent, being happy and mindful of what we are doing. So these are the essential things of basically a positive mental health. How we can live a full extent of our lives in a stress-free, happy manner and feel contented about it at the end. So this is actually positive mental health. It has different domains. As we are going through, maybe we can discuss one after the other. Right. Any next one?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That I thought you'll give some definition which we see in Google or in the textbook, but
No.
it was like very much understandable. So thank you, ma'am. And the next question is like, we have, especially we people have like a lot of overthinking. So how to overcome this overthinking?
So what is overthinking? Like thinking about something repeatedly. So what is the main cause? The main cause would be basically, just give me a sec, I'm going to mute my phone. Huh? I'm getting a lot of messages. Right. So basically it means you are worried about something. You're ruminating. The exact psychiatric term we commonly use is rumination. Constantly the same thought keeps coming again and again, and that is sort of distressing you. Right? Why does this happen? Because something is so important to us that we constantly worry about it. So I'll possibly talk about a little why we start worrying. What are the basic causes of worry and all these things? I think that is very important, because sometimes we don't realize that actually stress can worsen our well-being. Right. So any idea what moving on to thinking excessively, worrying, that resulting in stress? So what is stress? Anybody? Anybody? Anything, whatever you feel like you can say. It's an open session. As I said, I would love people to sort of answer on that. So let me say, stress is nothing but basically when your emotional capacity to manage a particular incident is very, very overwhelmingly unmanageable. That is when we feel stress, right? So there is an event. I have my own capacities and capabilities. When I presume that my capabilities are not enough to cope with a challenging event like the incident, which is going to happen, then I get stressed, right? So this is the basic thing which leads to repeatedly worrying about something or getting stressed over something or thinking, overthinking, whatever you would term it as. So let me ask all of you, is stress good or is stress bad? Anybody?
ஒரு லிமிட்ல இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் நல்லது.
Excellent. Yeah, may know who's speaking. Okay. That's Bharat, is it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
No. Right. Excellent. So actually, it's a very nice thing. In a cholrona stress, there are two types of stress. Let me call it that way. Rumba simple cholrona, as he rightly said, some amount of stress is actually very good. The reason is it enhances our performance. So a curve path, depending on the time, I'll possibly share that slide towards the end. It's very interesting to have a look at it. So till a particular extent, if you're going to mark stress against y-axis, if you're going to take performance, some amount of stress, your performance will actually go up. So this is known as eustress. Adavadu EUSTRESS in children. So it's eustress means you something is good. So eustress means it's a good stress. Event when it is going to increase beyond a certain extent, right? When I'm not able to cope with it, upper gradually the performance will start coming down. So that is when we call it as a distress stage. So starting from a eustress stage, people move on into a distress stage. So that is exactly what is the stress and how our performance will be affected. Some amount of stress is good, but when it increases more than that, it is not very productive. Right. So why do you think all of us get stressed? Anybody? Common causes in our what makes us so stressed about life?
Ma'am, fear,
Anything.
worries.
Fear, worry, excellent. What else? Let me give you a very small example, right? So, how should I say? Of course, some of us see dogs also and get stressed, but let me give you an example like this. Suppose there are two situations, right? Where would you be more stressed? So, there is a cat and there is a lion, right? So, why is that a lion near you stresses you so much, whereas a cat near you doesn't bother you that much? Yeah, why is this difference? Because in the first instance, you know that your capacity to overcome or overpower the cat is there. So you are rating your potentials as being much more. So that doesn't cause you that much of stress. But whereas in the case when you're confronted with a lion in front of you, you know that your capacity to manage that is not that good. So that is why you are getting stressed. So two things that will make you stressed is, one is underestimating your capacities, and the second thing is overestimating the nature of the problem you're going to face. Right. I will give you a very, very small example. How to get rid of this stress now. I am going to just take my phone like this and show you guys. See, for example, right. So I'm having something like this, right? Now you're able to see me. Okay. So you can all try this. So if I'm going to keep my phone this close to me, right? So what happens? I am not seeing anything at all. My whole field of vision is blocked. Correct? So let me think that this is only my stress. Now, இப்படி வெச்சினேனா obviously எனக்கு stress தவிர எதுவுமே தெரியல. Correct? My whole field of vision is blocked. But if I move it a little further down, what happens? Stress is still there. Not that it is gone out of my hands. My stress or my problem is still there. But I see a lot of solutions around it. So this is exactly the reason. So all of us have a stress. I'm still holding the stress, but when it's very close to me, I'm not able to see any solutions. Once I'm putting it a little further away, what do I mean by it in technical terms? When I'm trying to stay away from the stress and then look at it, upper my ability to solve the problem increases. That is exactly. So if you see, if you are faced with some situation, right, which is very emotionally charged, you will get very stressed. But if the same thing is happening to a friend of yours, when they ask you, you will be able to provide a very nice answer to them, a solution to them. The reason is you are trying to delineate yourself from the problem and then try to look at it objectively. The very word objectively is the most important thing. Once I look at it like that, I will see hundreds of solutions. But when I put myself into the stress, the more I go into it, it's like it's going to pull you even further in, right? So that is where I must know where my limits are and try to de-stress myself, right? எனக்கு காமனா சொல்லுங்களேன், what are the reasons why do you think someone of your age would get stressed? Anybody?
Ma'am, there are like few things in the chat box they put, like if we have many works to do na stress varum, fear of losing, fear of work pressure again, expectation.
Excellent. This is what I wanted to say. Expectations. So there is one expectation for you as a person, right? So you want to do something. There is another expectation, a societal expectation, what people expect for you to do, right? They are constantly judging you by what you are doing. So basically when you're not able to fulfill, now commonest with the example கொடுப்பேன், like usually they bring children to me, அந்த குழந்தை actually 95% வாங்கியிருக்கும். So and they will say படிக்கவே மாட்டேன்றா ma'am. I'll have the shock of my life and I'll say he's got 95%, that is excellent, what is the problem? அப்படி கேட்டா then their response is இல்ல ma'am நீட் பண்ணணும், entrance exam எழுதணும், இப்பவே இந்த மாதிரி வாங்கினான்னா if he is not in the top, how will he get in? So I will tell them only one thing. See, all of us have our own capabilities, so we can do to the best of our extent, right? But if I'm going to set a goal which is not going to be possible by me, and then I'm going to aim at it constantly, what is going to happen? I'm going to be failing possibly in that goal. Once I start failing, I get more and more anxious, I get more and more stressed. That's a vicious cycle, Mari. It will go again and again, again and again. That will continue. So that is what we must not do. So assess my own capabilities, see what I will be able to do, set a realistic goal for myself, and then work towards it step by step. Once I do that, then I'll be able to get a small success every step. And then that will motivate me to do further better. So the basic thing is what your true self and what is your ideal self. Ideal self, see, for example, let me say, I give the example like, see, let's take a singer. So for example, each one of us have one area of, say, we are good at. Okay, so maybe I was good at talking, so I took up psychiatry. Let's take it like that, right? There is someone else, for example, let's take Chitrama. Let's take a singer. Okay, she has a wonderful voice. She's an excellent singer. இப்ப நாளைக்கு நான் வந்து போட்டிக்கு இல்ல நான் பாடியே ஆகணும் ஒரு கச்சேரி சித்ரா மாதிரி அப்படின்னு சொன்னா I might not be able to do it at all. So நாலு பேர் கூட வர மாட்டா. So what happens? Then I get stressed because I've fixed a goal which I'm not going to be able to achieve, right? So see what is your true self, your capability, and set a goal accordingly. Break it into always now like small compartments. Live your life itself as small compartments and children. Don't think of always we must have something known as a short-term goal. This is what I expect to achieve. For example, you need to submit an assignment right, in the next few days, right? Your aim is finishing this course at the end of 2 years or 3 years or whatever your time limit is, right? So I will have a long-term goal of achieving that, but I will also have a short-term goal of finishing my semester exams well, and I might have an immediate goal of submitting some assignment by this weekend. So once I'm able to compartmentalize this and arrange it accordingly, then it becomes very easy for me to manage. So prioritization of goal, setting a goal which is achievable and appropriate to our so-called level of capabilities is the key to success. So andha madri once you do, you would not have this unnecessary stress. The other thing which usually one more question Priya was asking me was frustration. When there is a lot of conflict between your goals and your parents' goals, for example, your goals and someone else's expectation of what you have to do. So under conflict irukum bodhu, that is the cause of stress. And of course, the everyday hassles. For example, I was just saying, let me tell you what was stressful for me in this whole meeting. See, because when I'm in hospital, it's easy. There is a person who connects IT department, someone connects, and then it's pretty simple, right? If something goes wrong, I call somebody from my room and someone comes and connects, right? But whereas here, when I'm at home, for example, I ask my son to do it, right? So if it's not connecting, that obviously stresses me. This is like a day-to-day hassle, right? So they can be day-to-day hassles. They can be stress when you're having frustration, when your goals are not achieved, when there is too much than what you can manage. All of us wear multiple hats, Ilya. So you may be possibly a student somewhere. You might be teaching someone else. You might be having the role of a brother, a sister. I'm not sure whether any of you is married. So then in that case, a father or a mother, or you're a son or a daughter. So you're wearing multiple hats, right? All of us are good at managing it to a certain extent, right? But when my capacity is overwhelmed, right? When I'm not able to do so many hats, that's when I get stressed. So being able to, usually only bite as much as you can chew. So that is the simplest way to sort of avoid stress, right? Yes, Priya, you can go for the next one.
Actually, ma'am, I told you like I had some set of questions for which you can answer. You answered almost all the questions, and still I have like one or two. I just asked them.
Enema, I can't hear you, Priya. You're getting.
Okay, ma'am.
Sure.
இப்போ கேக்குதா மேம் நான் பேசுறது? லைக் என்னன்னா நான் வந்து லைக் ஒரு செட் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வச்சிருந்தேன் மேம். உங்ககிட்ட கேட்டா நீங்க ஆன்சர் பண்ணுவீங்க, பட் யூ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் ஆன்சர்ட் ஆல் த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் through this thing. So yeah.
So I will get a distinction mark. That's good.
Exactly, ma'am.
Yes.
So next one, I have like chartly we have a thing like lack of sleep. அது வந்து ரொம்ப நமக்கு stress cause. So அது பத்தி
very true. So if a sleep irukalla, there are certain biological functions in our body, right? Say there is a sleep wake cycle. The best way to call it, it's a circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm na enna, just like there are clocks, there are some body clocks for us, right? So these body clocks will function automatically to see that our body is functioning adequately well. Okay, for example, sleep is one such thing, right? So all of us need to ideally have a 6 to 8 hours of restful sleep. What is the importance of sleep in a keta? It is a restorative function. What is restorative? So I'm constantly working, my body is constantly working. I need both physical and mental rest. So this is what happens during sleep. So sleep lapona, I'm not going to go into the technical details. Let me tell you what it is. Basically, there'll be two types of sleep, right? One vanda we call it as REM sleep, and the other is rapid eye movement sleep in children. The other one is known as NREM sleep or non-rapid eye movement sleep. So in the sleep phases, some of our body functions will actually slow down. There will be a lower tone in our muscles. Our heart rates will come down. So this is the time when the body systems are taking rest to recuperate. The next morning when you wake up, the clock is all set again to do the 24/7, the next sort of work for the next half a day, 12 hours functioning. So the 6 to 8 hours is exactly like a recharging your battery. Let's put it like that. So once your battery drains, you need to recharge it. Similarly, sleep will have a restorative function. And the restorative function, the most important in lack of sleep can cause mood disturbance first, right? As I think Priya had mentioned, it can affect your mood. So you're very irritable. For example, let's take, suppose you have your exams going on. You sort of stay up late in the night and you're preparing. At the end of the day, next day, without a reason or with a reason, right? The reason is our fuse wires become very short, right? We get irritated even with the simplest of causes. The reason is we have not had a restful sleep, right? Once you have a restful sleep, it will sort of, it's like a, how should I say, a lubricant to the whole system to make it function well. It restores the body clock again. Once that is affected, it can affect your mood. It can affect your cognition, the way you think. It can affect the speed of your functioning, right? For example, நம்ம regular car ஓட்டிட்டு இருக்கலாம். If I have not slept quite well the last night and I'm going on a long ride, my reflexes might not be the best because I'm feeling drowsy, right? So that can be another problem. I might not be thinking that sharp as I usually think because my cognitive functions are sort of impaired. Starting from attention or concentration, memory, all these things will be affected if there is an inadequate sleep. So adequate sleep is very, very, very important for a normal physical as well as a mental health function, right?
Okay, ma'am, that was cool. And one more thing is like when we tell about sleep, is it okay for us to sleep like any time, or or it's very important for us to sleep at night?
Yeah, I think, see, this is one thing. See, I understand certain professions are like, for example, if you're working in a call center or you're working on a shift duty roster, there are going to be times when you have to stay up awake, right? For example, let me say, when I was doing medicine, now when I was on call, இப்போ வந்து நான் sleep பத்தி lecture கொடுக்க முடியும், but when I was working, we used to work 36 hours straight, flat out, right? So the next morning, the worst thing is on rounds, your boss will be standing there and the professor will be questioning you. உனக்கு you won't know what the hell is happening because case எல்லாம் பார்த்திருப்போம், எல்லாம் work பண்ணிருப்போம், but நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி there is going to be a cognitive dulling. You're tired. The next day morning எல்லாம் முடிச்சு அப்பா எப்படா டியூட்டி முடியும், எப்ப கிளம்பலாம்னு இருக்கும் பொழுது, when he asks you questions, you might not be the best of your positions to answer, right? Technically, ideally, the biological clock itself is timed on the cycle with the sun. So usually Patena, if you're able to wake up in the morning, expose yourself to the daytime sunlight, automatically your sleep wake cycle will be all right. So it is good to sleep during the night and wake up early in the morning. That will set your biological clock. But for people who have shift workers, we give them some tips. So to reset the biological clock, once you've finished, say, a week of night duty, so they sleep in the morning to get out, to catch that sleep. But still, after that 1 week or 2 weeks of stretch of shift duty is over, they have something known as a catch-up time. They'll come and sleep for, say, straight out 10 hours, 12 hours, or even 14 hours, and then wake up. The body will need that time to recuperate from that sleep debt. The sleep debt is, I have to sort of get that amount of sleep. Let me take an example of your exams. When you're preparing, we do stay up and prepare. But you can do it for, say, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days at a stretch. Adukapram, how much ever coffee you drink, how much ever caffeine you take, whatever you do, at that stage, after that, you will have to crash, you will sleep for some time and then only wake up. So that is the sleep debt, and our body will catch up with that. But ideal time to sleep is usually in the nights. So go to bed, say, by about 10, 10:30, 11, and then wake up. At least 6 to 8 hours of a restful sleep is most desirable.
Thank you, ma'am. And next thing is, like, when we come to food items, like, is this stress related to what we eat or food items we take?
It's a nice question. Anybody who wants to try to answer this? Any guesses? Is food actually connected? Yeah, anybody? Number, let me, even from, say, Indian mythology, let's not talk psychiatry.
Like Deepika has told yes, and Bharat has told no idea, ma'am.
Correct.
And
see,
again,
so
yes.
Exactly, the food we take can have a significant impact on both our physical health and mental health. Physical health, there's something known as a food pyramid. So you tend to have less of carbohydrates, you tend to have more pulses and more of vitamins and minerals. So foods rich in that is going to that will be much, much better for you to sort of get your calorific value met, right? The reason is because these vitamins and minerals which you take inside is going to manage your oxidative stress in children. What is oxidative stress? This is a periya term onnum kediyadu. So when our body is metabolizing, some amount of machinery when the continuous odi inda, there is a wear and tear illaya. And madri, there are some free radicals which are generated regularly. So when these free radicals are accumulating, that tends to sort of cause something known as an oxidative stress. So when you are going to eat a lot of food which is rich in antioxidants, which is rich in vitamins and minerals, you are set to have a much better physical sort of health with your food. There are certain types of food. How many of us feel good when we eat a chocolate? Most of us, correct? Because sometimes, how many of us feel really good? நிறைய பேர் வந்து you have a coffee and ஒரு மாதிரி if you have not had a coffee, for people who are drinking regularly, you really feel so dull, you feel so tired, you feel so irritable. Once you've had your and the cup of coffee or tea, then you're back to yourself. So this again is very, very important, because certain foods, like for example caffeine, is said to activate or stimulate your brain functioning. The other thing is, for example, endorphins, certain food substances will increase this. What does endorphin do? It will make you feel very happy. You feel really relaxed and stress-free. Pain sensation korava irukum. So all these things are positive things. There are certain foods which are very rich in serotonin. What is serotonin? It's a neurochemical again in your brain. It's a neurotransmitter in your brain. That sort of will again elevate your mood. So you will feel really good. So that is that feeling of well-being. Sometimes when you have a chocolate, you have a sense of, oh my God, it was really nice. That's not because just you like the chocolate, but the substances in it tend to elevate your mood also. So actually now this is becoming, in the last over a decade, children, not a long time before, there's a lot of research happening on nutritional psychiatry, specifically how certain foods affect our functioning, our cognition, our mood, our behavior. All this is being studied a lot now. So that is one thing. And number see, we are actually reinventing the cycle. You would have seen, if you go back to mythology, what all our ancestors used to do. They used to avoid certain foods, let's say garlic or onion. Certain days aniki they won't have, because these substances have an aphrodisiac property. So certain impulses, they say that kamam, krodham, will be more with certain food substances. So this was the idea in our ancestors in the old ages. This is what they thought. Now we are understanding by research, probably yes, they were right. There are food substances which have certain values which definitely affects our mood and our level of functioning. So what we take in is basically what we are, whether it's physical health or mental health. Having a very balanced diet, right, is good. Now what they have said is, even having, say, a time in between, say weekly, say for half a day or something, don't take a lot of junk and have a flush out of your system. They're saying that is also very, very good for both your physical health and your mental health. One more important thing they're saying is, all of us know, avoid processed or refined foods. That is your bottled foods, your bottled drinks. Avoid all these. As much as you avoid these and go for more natural fiber-based food, it is very, very good.
Thank you, ma'am. And the next thing is that, like, I have like a set of questions. All are interrelated. It's like, எப்படின்னா மேம், especially the teenagers, we have this. யாரையாவது நான் ஹர்ட் பண்ணிட்டோம் அப்படின்னா, இல்லைன்னா if we have some like ஒரு ஃப்ரெண்ட் or someone, அவங்க கூட நம்ம லைஃப்ல they are no more அப்படின்னா, ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி டீனேஜ் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல மேம், ஒரு விஷயத்துல அடிக்ட் ஆயிட்டாங்க அப்படின்னா அதனால ஏற்படுற ஸ்ட்ரெஸ். ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்க என்ன மேம் சொல்ல விரும்புறீங்க, like for us to overcome it?
So I will split it into two. See, addiction and relationship are two separate issues. I think Priya is trying to be very diplomatic by not using the word relationship, so I will use it. So see, this is a part of normal development, right? As an adolescent, when you're going through certain hormonal changes, right, attraction towards the opposite gender is normal, right? So in fact, there's something wrong. Okay, so maybe when I was doing when I was in college, when I was doing, ஒரு நல்ல இருந்தான ஒரு பையனை பார்த்து நல்ல ஸ்மார்ட்டா தான் இருக்கான்னு சொல்றது or comment பண்றது, it is very normal, right? But now if my daughter does it, do I take it that way? No, right? Unfortunately, now I'm in the role of a mother rather than a teenager, right? So the perspective is what changes. From the perspective of an adolescent, what they are doing is absolutely fine, right? But from the perspective of a parent, if I take a parent role, now I will give a lecture saying like, no, this is not good. maintain a distance with your opposite gender. It doesn't look good. This is not a priority. Get set first in your life. Have your goals or careers met, and then you can decide who's going to be the best partner for you. So all this role reversal you will do. This is one very, very common thing, a common area of conflict between almost any adolescent and parent. Let's take it like that. Okay. So how do we sort of decide? In fact, we will have psychiatry lectures on specifically relationships. There are different levels. See, knowing each other very superficially at one stage is an acquaintance, right? I have so many people, I know so many of you, that is there is something known as a professional distance, right? I know all of you, I've met all of you, but I'm not going to come and ask you something very personal, right? So there is a professional distance, right? For example, Priya or Anbukarasi or Raghu, Bharat, or someone who has spoken to me a little more today, calls me after this personally and talks to me, I move a little away from that personal distance, getting a little closer, right? They share something with me. They want some help, or they want some advice, or they want some solution. Let's keep it like that. So then I'm getting to know them a little better and trying to help them. So friendship in a varumbodhu, there is a particular level of distance you maintain. Both, I'm not talking about only the physical distance, it is the emotional distance, right? But adolescence, what happens exactly is we are not able to judge this distance very well. So I get confused between a friend, just an acquaintance, and a person who is much more than a friend, who I would like to sort of take as my partner for a lifetime. So when this confusion happens, that is when the conflict starts raising. And let me be very honest. Now, talking as an adolescent, let me put myself in the shoe of an adolescent and say, what happens? We all try to project the best of ourselves, right? When you're trying to know some person. So in a relationship, initially, when you're seeing a girl or a guy, say for half an hour a day, 1 hour a day, I'll be my best, right? நான் வந்து கோபமே படமாட்டேன், எப்பவுமே சிரிச்சுன்னா இருப்பேன், நீ என்ன சொன்னாலும் ஓகேன்னு சொல்லுவேன், because I just have to put up with you for half an hour or 1 hour, right? So it is very simple, right? But what happens later when there is a committed relationship, when there is an expectation? I move on to the next phase. I want you to listen to all what I say, no matter whether you have time or not, whether you have an assignment to submit or not. If you have to call me now, you have to call me now, right? So then my expectation increases. And when that person is not able to meet with that expectation, that is when there is a conflict, because there is disappointment. Disappointment will lead to frustration, and frustration will lead to conflict. These are clear steps. And when the conflict starts happening, what was a small crack tends to deepen with every conflict, and finally we break up at some stage, right? Because நம்ம ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் compatibility இல்ல அப்படிங்கிறது we realize, right? Because the more I know about you, the more I realize the way you think and the way I think are absolutely different, right? So then we realize that, see, for example, இப்ப நம்ம இங்கிலீஷ்ல பேசுறோம், or வந்து தமிழ்ல we can shift gears and we talk, because both of us are comfortable in doing that. All of us are. நமக்கு புரியுது. If I was continue to talk only in Latin or in French, எத்தனை நாள் நீங்க இந்த மீட்டிங்ல இருப்பீங்க? How long will you stay? Maybe for 2 minutes, for 3 minutes. ரொம்ப பேஷண்டா இருக்கவங்க, பாவம் சத்யா மேம் கூப்பிட்டுட்டோம், எப்படியாவது கேட்டே ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு 10 நிமிஷம் இருக்கலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் you get frustrated, correct? Exactly. This is the same thing that will happen. You want to hear only what you want to hear. And what to understand, I must be able to convey across. நம்ம ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் அந்த compatibility-யே இல்ல. நீங்க ஏதோ ஒரு question கேக்குறீங்க, நான் ஏதோ ஒரு answer சொல்றேன். Or my expectation and what you're expecting is very different now. We are not going to meet at a common point. That will lead to disappointment. That will lead to frustration. And that is the main reason for conflicts in relationships. I will not say getting into a relationship is bad, but what I would say is initially, as an adolescent, our brains are not very mature. அதுக்கு நான் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் நான் கொடுக்குறேன்னா யூஸ்வலா this is an example when I go to schools and talk to adolescents, this is what I usually tell them. இப்போ எப்படி சொல்றது, நம்மளோட திங்கிங் பார்ட் ஆஃப் த பிரெயின் என்னன்னா இஸ் ஆர் frontal brain, right? This is the prefrontal cortex, is the part of our brain which thinks, plans, executes and does everything, right? So and the part of the brain is not fully mature by say adolescence. It takes time to mature. So that's one thing. So the second thing is hormonal influence in a pata. There is, because adolescence is, puberty is going on, that is at a peak. So there is a hormonal turmoil mari cholala, right? So that is the second thing. The third thing is like or எவ்வளவு ரிஸ்கியா இருக்கும். இப்போ ஒரு there is a high speed car or a bike you're driving, the fuel is full tank, right? The road is very skiddy and it is raining. In the combination சரியா work out ஆகுமா? Is it dangerous or is it not dangerous? What do you think it is? ஒரு rainy dayல road full skid ஆகும் பொழுது maximum speedல accelerate பண்ணிட்டு without a proper brake, if you are driving a bike or a car, is it dangerous or is it very good?
Absolutely dangerous, ma'am. எல்லாரும் அத சொல்லிட்டு இருக்காங்க.
Exactly. It is absolutely dangerous. So this is the exact example of what's happening in adolescence. Your fuel, that is your hormones, are firing. One. Your brake, that is your thought, your cognition, your prefrontal cortex is not fully mature, right? And your environmental situation is not the greatest, right? You have to prove yourself in life. So identity, you're not anymore called as someone's daughter or son. You have to create an identity for yourself as Bharat, as Priya, as Anbu or someone, right? So when you have to do that, so you're striving with this, your brake system is not okay, your fuel is firing, that is when we tend to have accidents. So this is the exact example we must remember before getting committed into any relationship. Is this something long term? Is this something which is compatible with me? Is something every adolescent must go through. I'm not talking as a parent here. And as a parent, any relationship may correct. So let's be, that is the bottom line, right? I'm not talking as a parent. I'm telling as a, say, possibly one among you, this would be my best advice.
Like that was well said, ma'am. It's like எனக்கு எப்படி அது புரிஞ்சது அப்படின்னா ஆல்ரெடி வந்து we have lot of stress, நம்மளா இன்னொரு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் தேடி போக வேண்டாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இருந்தது நீங்க சொன்னது.
Whatever can be avoided.
Yes, exactly.
But it's not all that easy. We tend to have the best of both worlds only during that age. It's a part of growing up again. You tend to mess up. Usually children, you are never going to learn to ride a cycle unless and until you fall down once or twice, right? So it's something like that. I burn my hands in one or two relationships. I understand possibly this is not me. I have to be a little careful. So coming to that wise decision, it's very easy to say and give a lecture. As I said, it's very easy. But was I able to do? Was I the smartest, or will you be the smartest? I can't say. It's very difficult.
I hope everyone here are the smartest. So the next thing is that anxiety and fear. I don't know, like I have like a lot of questions there, but you just tell about the basic things about the anxiety and fear.
So tell me, what is fear? What is anxiety? Again, let me give you, I'm not going to give you textbook definitions. And that is not the idea. I want you to take back home. If you must know what anxiety is, what fear is. That is all I'm trying to do. So let me say, what is fear? இப்போ நெருப்பு வந்து தொட்டா சுடும் அப்படிங்கிறது is a fear. So அந்த fear தேவையா இல்லையா? It is necessary. Otherwise you're going to go put your hand and see. Or if there is a snake coming, right? பாம்பெல்லாம் எனக்கு பயமே இல்லப்பா அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றது, it's stupid. If it's a poisonous snake, if it's going to sort of sting you, you are going to have a problem, right? So that is a fear, right? So exact definition சொல்லணும்னா, a known threat இருக்கும் பொழுது, that is a fear, right? So fear is needed to some extent. What is anxiety? Anxiety is what is more than the normal, and my threat is unknown. எதுக்காக பயப்படுறேங்கிறது I will not know. For example, all of us are a little fearful about contracting COVID infection. Yes? No. Correct? Is that needed? Yes, it is needed. Correct. Do all of us have to wear masks and go when we go out? Yes. That is common sense. So that is a fear which is a protective mechanism. So evolutionarily பார்த்தேன்னா நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் அந்த fear இருக்கிறது is necessary. It is needed. Right? But when it becomes excessive, when it becomes more than what should be there, and when it is against an unknown threat, that is when it is called as anxiety. I'm anxious about something, but எதனால நான் anxious ஆ இருக்கேன் if I don't know, that is a problem. Right? So this is the clearest differentiation between fear and anxiety. இதுல fearல known threat இருக்கும், anxietyல unknown threat. Fear is sometimes necessary, it is evolutionary, developmentally appropriate. Anxiety, it is excessive than what is necessary. அவ்வளவுதான். And anxiety can be in multiple forms, right? I might be, நீங்க எல்லாரும் வந்து தெனாலி படம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்கல்ல. So what is there? எனக்கு பயம் 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 எதை பார்த்தாலும் பயம் சொல்லுவான். That is like a specific, only fear இருந்ததுன்னா you call it as a phobia. Right? Anxiety நிறைய இருக்கும். Generalized anxiety என்ன ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது. இன்னைக்கு ஆன் டைம் வந்து லிங்க் கனெக்ட் ஆகுமா, லிங்க் நடுவுல நெட்வொர்க் சரியா இல்லைன்னா என்ன பண்றது, எல்லாரும் ஜாயின் பண்ண முடியலன்னா வாட் டு டூ, ஓகே, வாட் இஃப் சடன்லி த பவர் கோஸ் ஆஃப் அண்ட் இட் டசன்ட் கம் பேக், ரைட், வாட் இஃப் மை ஆடியோ காம்ஸ் ஆஃப், right, what if I'm not able to submit my thing. So I'm getting worried about things which are not going to happen, or the chances of it happening is very less. Right? That is exactly getting anxious. And it is like a generalized anxiety. In the specific object, it doesn't settle down. It is a free floating anxiety. So that is generalized anxiety. But when that free floating anxiety settles on something, that is when you have specific anxiety disorders. One of the specific anxiety disorders is, like, say, let's say a panic attack. Panic attack na enna, like you start having palpitations, you start having difficulty in breathing, your hands start, you have tremors, your mouth dries up, and or a fear of impending doom, something bad is going to happen to me, அப்படிங்கிறது you start having. And there is an anticipatory anxiety. For example, you might even avoid going to a crowded place or going in a lift. What if I can't breathe if I get into the lift? அப்படின்றது is an anticipatory anxiety. It's not happening. What if it happens and I'm anticipating? That is exactly something which happens in a panic attack like thing. Other is one specific anxiety disorder. The other anxiety disorder is multiple phobias, right? Some of us have a phobia for snakes, some of us have a phobia for heights, some of us have a phobia of closed spaces, open spaces. So you have claustrophobia, you have acrophobia, you have agoraphobia, multiple words. You can have all these phobia. Phobia na fear in artham. So excessive fear about any particular thing you can have. So that is one particular thing. Otherwise, if it goes and settles on particular thing, like for example, dust, contamination, and then I have a compulsion of repeatedly washing my hands because totta enakku infection vandadum or totta dirty aidum, I must wash it. So that will move into another spectrum, obsessive compulsive disorder. It's known as OCD. So typically ellame anxiety disorders da. அது ஒரு general, if it doesn't settle on anything, if it's a free floating anxiety, you call it as generalized anxiety disorder. But if it is settled on something particular, it can take the form of either a panic disorder, or it can take the form of, say, specific phobia. It can take the form of social phobia, right? How many of us are comfortable to talk? See, it might be easier talking on even now I find many of my adolescents who I am taking classes, for example, are now finding it much comfortable. And you're not interacting directly face to face. You're seeing through a camera and then you're interacting. They are much more comfortable. Whereas when they have to come on a stage and perform in front of few people, they cannot do it. So there can be a performance anxiety. They might be shy to go and talk to many people. They can be a social phobia. So if it settles on a particular object, depending on the object, you have different anxieties as such, which can be classified. Hope that answered your question, Pa.
Yes, ma'am. Anxiety. I think it's a very big topic, but you have covered
Correct.
almost everything. Yes. And the next thing is the last thing, hallucination and delusions. So,
Okay.
few points.
That is good. Can I know whose question is this? Out of interest, if the person doesn't mind telling, it will be good. The reason is it's a core psychiatric thing. It's very good that you're very interested. இப்போ நமக்கு எத்தனை senses இருக்குப்பா? We have 5 senses, correct?
5 senses.
Right. So vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. Right. So in the sensory inputs ella namakku irukku. Correct? So in the sensory inputs la, if there is an altered perception, right, that is known as a hallucination. Right? So let me give you a simple example. Right? இப்போ எதுவுமே இல்ல ஆனா எனக்கு கண் முன்னாடி I see a snake. That is a visual hallucination. Right? Nobody is around me, but I hear as if someone is talking to me. That is a auditory hallucination. Okay? Sometimes actually there is nothing happening around, but niketena all these, especially children who have seizure disorder, who have epilepsy or convulsions, they will get a smell. Suddenly they will say tire burn pandra mari smell varudhu. That is a very characteristic symptom of a temporal lobe epilepsy. Right? For example, that is an olfactory hallucination. Olfactory is your sense of smell. So some can have a gustatory or a particular taste. I always have a metallic taste. Some children will have that. That is a gustatory hallucination. So all these perceptual abnormalities occurring in air of the senses is a hallucination. Are in a hallucination? If it occurs in your eye, it's a visual hallucination. If it occurs in your olfactory, it's an olfactory hallucination. If you have touch la irundaduna, it's known as a tactile hallucination. Tactile hallucination romba common you will see in cannabis use. Right? These ganja addicts, they will say எனக்கு ஏதோ வந்து பூச்சி உள்ள மாதிரி இருக்கு. They will actually try to pick out their skin. பூச்சி இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு they will be doing it, but actually nothing will be there. Right? So that is a tactile hallucination. So the sense of something being there when it's actually not there. Right? So this is hallucination. So this is a perceptual abnormality. Adu mattum therinja po hallucination patti. Delusion is actually very different. Delusion is your thought. Right? So unoda thought process, when you have something, a fixed false belief, that is a delusion. A fixed false belief, adukku or full definition kudukonona, they will say despite the contrary being proved. Right? So for example, what is a delusion? I feel people are trying to harm me. Right? If for example in this meeting 2 of you are signing, right, and you're talking, right, I feel you're talking something about me. I feel you're commenting about me. That is a referential delusion. And now I'm telling Priya enna patti enna pesra, or Bharat sir enna pandringa, yen neenga vandu appadi paakreenga, neenga enna suspect pandra mari enak thondrudhu. If I'm asking you that, actually you're not doing it, and you're actually switching on your mic and telling me, ma'am andha mari onnum illa ma'am, it is nothing like that. Na solra illa I definitely know you are trying to plan to harm me only, that is why you're doing it. And I give you a process. I will say pakkat veetla irukravanga, they are trying to actually harm me. Now varumbodhu they are trying to pass signals so that someone can harm me. They are trying to poison my food. That day they gave me water. Now vandu daagama irundadunu kekave illa, they came and offered me some juice. Definitely they are trying to mix something. They are trying to harm me. So that is a thought. So a fixed false belief. And fixed in a, even you're telling me that it is not like that, அந்த மாதிரி ஒண்ணுமே கிடையாது, you're trying to explain to me. Actually என்னோட one more thing is with your level of intelligence. So you're a fairly intelligent person and you can understand that. But despite that, if you're not able to understand it and you still hold on to that belief, yaar chonnalum you're not able to accept, that is a fixed false belief, and that thought process is a delusion. The thing about both hallucination and delusion, rendume are seen in psychiatric disorders which are known as psychotic disorders. Psychosis is characteristically having both delusions and hallucinations. உங்களோட anxiety, நம்ம இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பேசணும் இல்லையா, stress or anxiety or worry or overthinking, இது எல்லாம் is known as neurotic disorders. So neurotic disorders is on one end and psychotic disorders is on the other spectrum, right?
So sorry ma'am, இதெல்லாம் வரதுக்கான ரீசன் வந்து லைக் the basic reason அது என்னவா மேம் இருக்கும்?
See, for now, let me tell you, all psychiatric disorders in general, there is something known as a biopsychosocial model. Okay, there was one person by name George Engel who gave this model. Biopsychosocial na enna? There is a biological component to it. There is also a psychological component and a social circumstance which is triggering it. Let me ask you one thing. So we hear about many things. Pona varam was suicide week, right? So suicide week, there were multiple things, there were multiple lectures all of us were doing. Number of suicide rates are going up, especially in adolescence. Ipo in the NEET nala, you would have heard there are few children who actually attempted or committed suicide because of increasing academic stress. Correct? So ipo ella kulandigalukkum na safe about say 10 lakh children are writing NEET na, ellarkume adhe stress na, all of them want to get in, right? But why do some children get actually depressed or go to the extent of attempting a suicide? So this social environment pata irukkudiya stress ellarkume irukku, correct? So that is one common platform all of us are having. But all of us don't get depressed, all don't attempt suicide, illaya? The reason is there is always a protective factor which is balancing. But these children enna aaruduna, the protective factors are very less, and in addition to the social factors, they also have a lot of psychological stressors, right? They may feel like I am not good enough, NEET is very difficult, I might not be able to get in the top, say top 100 or top 1000 to get into a medical college. So my intelligence is not enough to achieve it. So a lot of hopelessness, helplessness, or a lot of depressive cognitions will lead to this sort of a depressive episode. So that is the psychological construct. The other thing what I was telling you is the biological construct. So or a biological vulnerability. Suppose if there is a family history of a depressive illness. So for example, if my father or my mother had a depression, the biological vulnerability is there for me. Correct? So I am having a elevated risk. Ipo or family history illadavangulukum enakkum my risk is slightly higher. So when I am having a higher biological vulnerability and I am going into depression because someone bullies me at college, to top it all, the exam comes and I'm not able to cope. So a biological factor irukku, or a psychological stress irukku, the social stress will push me down into either a illness. That illness can be either a neurotic illness or it can be a psychotic illness. So endha oru psychiatric illness eduthundalum, best way to explain is a biopsychosocial model. So biological factor, psychological factors, and a psychosocial situation. So treat பண்ணும்போது, that is the most important thing, right? So generally the word they use is counseling கொடுத்தா சரியாயிடும். So counseling is not just not talking, right? There are specific counseling strategies. For example, if a depression எடுத்துண்டா, There are so many ways of managing your depression. There is something known as cognitive behavior therapy. There is something known as interpersonal therapy. There is something known as relaxation and mindfulness. So there are multiple forms of therapy to help. So all these are psychological therapies. So இப்போ ஒரு குழந்தை படிக்க முடியாம கஷ்டப்பட்டு if the child is not coping in 10th standard, the child is coming to me, child is feeling very depressed, doesn't want to go to school, இதுதான் கம்ப்ளைண்டா இருக்கும். But you will not be treating the child well if வந்த உடனே ஓ டிப்ரெஷன் இருக்கா, சரி வெரி குட், நான் உனக்கு ஒரு மாத்திரை கொடுக்குறேன், நீ டிப்ரெஷனுக்கு மாத்திரை போட்டுட்டா you will be very fine. That will not happen unless and until I find the cause of what is causing the depression. So நான் என்ன பண்ண வேண்டி இருக்கும்? Why is this child finding academics so difficult? So ஒரு specific learning disability இருக்கா, இல்ல குழந்தைக்கு intellectual level functioning problem இருக்கா, இல்லனா the way the teacher is teaching and the way his child is learning அதுல ஒரு mismatch இருக்கா. So see, நம்ம எல்லாருமே all of us don't learn the same way. So some of us are like auditory learners. எத்தனை தடவை பார்த்திருக்கோம், எக்ஸாம் முன்னாடி படிக்கவே மாட்டோம், ஏய் அந்த கொஸ்டின் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் சொல்லு அப்படின்னு ஹால் போறதுக்கு முன்னாடி கேட்டுன்னு போவோம். கடைசியில பார்த்தா சொன்ன ஆளை விட நம்ம நல்லா எழுதிட்டு வரோம். Because we are an auditory learner, right? Some of them will have to see. எனக்கு புக்ல டாப் ரைட் கார்னர்ல இந்த பேஜ்ல இருக்கும் அப்படின்னு அந்த புக் பார்த்தோம்னா they have a photographic memory. They are a visual learner. So இந்த ரெண்டுத்துல mismatch இருக்கிறதுனால கூட அந்த குழந்தை லேர்ன் பண்ணாம இருக்கலாம். So only when the child comes, I have to treat the depression, see the cause for depression, try to correct that also, underlying cause, and then only, and அப்பா அம்மா excessive pressure போடலாம். பிறந்ததுல இருந்து சரி இப்ப நான் டாக்டரா முடியல, if I'm going to say குழந்தை பிறந்ததுல இருந்து இல்ல நீ டாக்டர் ஆகணும், நீ டாக்டர் ஆகணும், நீ டாக்டர் ஆகணும்னா that child might not have the capacity, might not have the aptitude, right? So அப்படி இருக்கும் பொழுது that conflict can also push someone. So that is a psychosocial situation causing a problem. So unless and until I manage all three areas, I'm actually not treating the child wholly. So I must manage the biological component by giving a medicine. I must manage the psychological component by giving psychological therapy. And I must give the psychosocial situation and management by talking to the parent, maybe talking to the school, how to improve this child's functioning. இது எல்லாம் பண்ணாதான் the treatment is complete. So it is not one quick fix. Either just me writing a medicine and giving or just me talking is not going to solve the problem. It has to be a holistic approach.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Actually, I was worried because the parent pati we had a question, but you covered that too here. So thank you so much. With this, we are done with all the questions, ma'am. I hope like do you have like some official mails or something so that people who have like questions can post it there?
Definitely. My email ID will be Satya, SATYA, Satya at CMC Vellore.
SATYA
at CMC Vellore, VELLORE.AC.IN.
So they'll post it there, ma'am, so that you can answer the questions.
Just ask them to send me an email. And if there's anything, please feel free. If there's anything confidential, they can write to me. This mail is opened only by me. So it's my personal email ID. In case they have any questions or any personal things which they might want to discuss in a little more detail, I'm more than happy. Hopefully it was useful for you. You were able to understand, or it was interesting enough in Nanekre. Please give me your feedback also so that it will be useful. Any questions now anybody wants to ask, please unmute yourself and ask. I'm more than happy.
So, hi ma'am, I have a question.
Sure. Can you kindly introduce yourself if you don't mind?
Yes ma'am. My name is Dr. Arkit Chandalian. I'm currently doing my third year in BTech at DCT Coimbatore. So I we well know that mental health have influence on the physical health too. So definitely. I have something some query. When I am overwhelmed with emotions, I sort of have a panic attack, like a panic attack. I feel my muscles twitching, or I can't move my hands or my facial muscles like that. Okay. So how is this connected, ma'am? This emotional outburst and physical activities.
It's a very lovely question, Charlene. Thanks a lot for that question. There's something known as mind-body relationship. So the dualism na, both mind and body, though we think it's separate, there is a lot of interconnections. There are certain disorders basically which arise because of a disturbance in this mind-body relationship. Again, let me give you, to explain this mind-body relationship, some very simple example. Right? Ipo, like, or headache, let's take headache. Headache, a commonest cause ever. I have not had food, maybe. I can have hypoglycemia, adanala I can have headache. My vision is not all right, for example. Then I can have headache, right? Or I can possibly have sinusitis, I can have headache, right? So headache is a symptom. That symptom can arise because of physical causes as well as psychological causes, right? So the commonest example, if you take no doctor to poningina, they will try to do. And for example, even if I have a brain tumor, I can have headache, right? Or if I'm having excessive stress in my workplace, right? Or I have a very, very difficult time with my home environment, right? I'm having a lot of problems with my husband. All this can cause a headache for me, right? So the physical causes, once they are ruled out, then I'm able to understand why this is happening. There is a psychological stress which is causing this. If a headache, it is very easy to understand. The commonest thing, I'll give you an example. If you have palpitations, that is like a panic attack. So that is clearly like an anxiety or a stress which is going up. It persists like that. But modella inda madri or symptom irunda, where do you think a parent will take the child? To a pediatrician. Modella palpitation irundaduna, breathing difficulty irundaduna, they will get an ECG done. They will do all the investigations. Ella normal arkum, but still the child will continue to have these episodes. Then they will refer to a child and adolescent psychiatrist saying like there is some other stress. So basically what it needs is find what is your area of stress. Try to do some deep breathing relaxation exercises. Mind-body relationship is something very important. When you're able to, in the mind-body relationship, when there is psychological stress, there can be a physical symptom. Same way, when I'm able to physically relax myself, I will be able to mentally calm down. That is the basis for yoga. That is the basis for mindfulness. That is the basis for relaxation therapies. So, relaxation therapies are deep breathing. Deep breathing, what happens? Your general physical activity of your body slows down. Your muscles will start relaxing. So on the spasm, so you don't feel that stress and tension. So automatically your body calms down and your mind gets that signal and your mind also calms down. So mind-body relationship is a very, very important concept. There are multiple disorders. For example, you might have heard about type A personalities. Type A personalities are people who want to do things to the perfect level, on dot. So they are the people who will very commonly have hypertension or cardiac strokes or arrest. Okay, that is again it is a physical illness coming because of a psychological stress. In the multiple things, arthritis, bronchial asthma, all these skins can be triggered by psychological stress. So once you understand the psychological stress by doing some physical relaxation therapies or mindfulness therapies, you will be able to overcome that psychological stress. Hope that answers your question, Janilin.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very clear and useful. And I have one more query.
Sure.
I think the sense of guilt or guilt feelings, it keeps often it keeps stressing us. So how to overcome that, ma'am?
So see, now guilt is again we have a lot of defense mechanisms. What is a defense mechanism? To keep, just like our body, physically we have body, there's something known as homeostasis. That is, our body internal systems will adjust to sort of keep adequate functioning. Adhe madri, there is a defense mechanism inbuilt in us to ensure that we are psychologically well. Right? Guilt is one thing which is not a very, how should I say, helpful defense mechanism. We call it an immature defense mechanism. what is a mature defense mechanism which is useful? For example, humor. Now, romba stress I watch some comedy, I sort of laugh it out. That is a very mature defense mechanism to overcome my problem. If a guilt, it is again like a rumination. I tend to put the burden on me. I am the reason for this problem happening, right? Once I start ruminating on that, that causes guilt. And guilt will very soon push you into a depressive episode. So guilt eppadi address panna mudiyum? There are two things. I don't know whether you are used to the common thing. I don't have a whiteboard. Let me anyway try with my hands. So first question is, do you have a problem? Apdinu we ask, right? If you say no, I don't have a problem, then I will tell you, then why worry? Be happy. If you say no, I have a problem, I will say, okay, you do like a flow chart. Then the next question I will have you, do you have a solution for the problem? Then you say, yes, I have a solution. Then I will tell you, why worry? You have a solution, solve that. You will get out of your worry. If you tell me, I don't have a solution, so then I will say, well, you don't have a solution. Is there any point in you worrying about it more than that? No, you anyway can't do anything about it. So then again, you come to the reason why, right? So whatever it is, there is something known as, I don't know how many of you would have heard it. There is something in Google, if you search a serenity prayer, you will see. It would have been given like, God, give me the courage to change things I can change. Okay? There's something which is happening, which you feel you must change, so you can change it. You must change it. That will give you a satisfaction. Give me the, how should I say, accept things I cannot change. There are certain things which I cannot change, right? So I have to just accept it and move on, right? And I must have the I must have the wisdom to differentiate between both. What I can change, what I cannot change. If I'm able to do this, my guilt mechanism can be very easily handled. So, if in the particular situation, there is a guilt. For example, let me take a very, very simple example. You and your friend planned to sort of go out somewhere. That day you were not able to make it. You're very guilty about it, and something bad happened to your friend. Let's take it like that. So you're constantly feeling guilty about it. And the guilt closure illada varaikum, it is going to sort of keep ruminating. You're going to keep worrying about it and getting stressed. So think about it very objectively. Now, first chonamari, step out of the problem. Move the problem away from you. See. Now see, could I have done anything better on that day? Right? If yes, then it is going to be, why did I not do it? Maybe 1, 2, 3 reasons. So then that gives you a sense, yes, I could have done something better. I have not done it. It is over. So can I correct it? Can I repair it? Then your guilt will be solved, right? But come to the next situation. I could have not helped this situation anyway. Then again, you realize that nothing was in my hands. So maybe I must not feel guilty about it and ruminate over it. So just differentiating and coming to, there are 3 things you must usually do. I don't know. The concept of third space ketripedana, I'm not sure. That is one very nice concept in psychiatry. It's just like when your phone battery drains off to recharge it. Just like that, how do you do to your brain? Most of us do not do that. So the incident is over. Adla guilt irundu, how is it going to help your mental health? It is not helping you. So reflect on it. That is the first step. 3 hours. Reflect on it. Then rest. Rest with that thought and see how it is going to help you. And then once you have done that, once you have relaxed and got out of it, just like pushing a reset button, reset it. So that guilt is taken off and cognitively you feel you have done something good. So reflect, rest, and reset. And then that will give you a cycle where you're able to address that guilt very effectively. So that will be a very useful strategy for you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really insightful, and thank you for the answer, ma'am.
No worries. Thank you so much. Any other questions anybody else wants to ask?
Ma'am,
Yeah, please tell me.
ma'am, actually, 7க்கு meeting end ஆயிடும் ma'am. Further questions இருந்ததுன்னா
Okay.
உங்களுக்கு mail பண்றோம் ma'am.
No worries at all. No worries at all. Sure. Anything else you all want, please feel free to email me. We can always catch up. So,
Thank you,
should we
ma'am.
sign off then, or anything else?
Like, yeah, we have like few procedures, ma'am. Before that,
Sure.
thank you so much, ma'am. The session was like so much interactive and informative session. எப்படி இருந்ததுன்னா நான் first வரும்போது they just gave me these questions that I have to ask, and I was like, okay, ஒரு psychiatrist வராங்க, ஒரு philosophical class தான் இருக்கும், அப்படிதான்
Okay.
நான் வந்தேன்.
Definitions எல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு அப்புறம் ஒரு சைக்காட்ரிஸ்ட்னா ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ஸ்டர்ன் ஃபேஸோட உட்கார்ந்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. Okay. So unfortunately that was not there.
Yes, that was not there, ma'am. And also you told few scientific terms which we really understood. It was understandable. It was very good session, ma'am. Informative session. So thank you so much. And dramatization, you were like, you're shaking your head like this. I was also like going along with you. So that was like, it was very good session. Thank you so much for this, ma'am. It was very relatable to me. I hope it was very relatable to everyone out here. And we have something for you, ma'am. Like, we have a token of love. So I request our President Bharat to share it. Hope you like it, ma'am.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Ma. Thanks a lot. It was a very different and nice experience from my side as well. So, as I said, in case there are any more queries or any questions, please feel free to get in touch, and
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
shall sort of
And
try to answer them.
And this token of love is made by one of our club members. So
Lovely. It's very nice. It looks like a handmade painting with one. Lovely. Thank you so
yes,
much.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And the takeover from the session is that if we really, everyone has stress. It's that we shouldn't run away. We should just like stay away and have to handle
Stay
the
and
situation.
manage. Look at your capacities, improve your coping skills and problem solving skills.
Yes, ma'am.
That is all.
Thank you so much,
Stress
ma'am.
can
So
be
thank you
managed.
once again. And I would like to end this session with a quote. Don't stress the stress, else the stress will stress you. Until the next session, this is Rotary Priyadarshini signing off with the whole family of Rotary Club of GCT Coimbatore. Thank you all for participating, and thank you, ma'am, for being
Thank
with
you
us
so
here today.
much. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants are now free to leave the meeting.